So yeah, but do you even DevOps? But before that, quickly introducing myself, and then Priit almost spoiled the slide. Yes, I'm Joonathan Mägi, CTO of Klaus. With some of these organizers, we worked together at Skype for quite some time. But after that, we built some, I built some startups as well. So I was the first engineer joining Teleport, trying to move people around the world and find them a spot where they should be living. With Sten Damkivi and some other people. That was definitely ahead of its time. If we would have launched that for the COVID period, we probably would have been much more successful. But even so, we were still acquired by Topia, where we were building some global mobility software for big enterprises, long sales cycles, whatnot. And now I'm building enterprise-grade software at Klaus. Little bit shorter sales cycles, hopefully, but yeah. And what's my relationship with DevOps and everything like that? I've always enjoyed technology, just technology, any type of technology, but containers, even before they were called containers, and then Kubernetes and everything like that, I got really passionate about that stuff already at Skype, and yeah, we really didn't do cloud at Skype, but we tried, and now they're doing it, so it's good for them. But what is this cat thing, Klaus? Probably you might have seen Klaus socks if you've been at some other conference, software development conferences or whatnot, but we're building software for customer support teams, and preferably large customer support teams. Teams like Epic Games or Automatic building WordPress.com and providing hosting to I don't even know how many WordPress blogs. Teams that are growing, but teams that are also passionate about customer service quality. And this area is super interesting because I don't have background in customer service. Our founders do, but I don't. But probably all of you in this room have some sort of an experience, a weird experience, bad experience, maybe good, funny experience with customer support. I don't know whether you needed to call some airline to get something fixed and something weird happened, but everyone has faced something with customer service, and it's definitely an area that could use improvements. And that's what we're working on. We're working on analyzing that data, analyzing millions and millions of conversations each every day to extract information, what's going well, what's going bad, and then enabling those teams to coach their customer support agents, and by that to actually help those companies to actually retain those users or customers so they don't go away to a competitor. So how do we do that? We run everything on Google Cloud. Google Cloud seems to be popular here as well, almost as popular as AWS, it seems, based on the talks that were heard. So this is the thing that I have to do as well, because this is the closing keynote, and I have to tie it all together. So yeah, we're also using all the cool latest technology, like Kubernetes, Cloud Run jobs, data flow, of course, Vertex AI, because machine learning is cool, Cloud Spanner, because we don't like to shard our Postgre databases. Probably because we don't know how to, but Google probably can pay really smart people to do that for us. But we do use Postgre as well, like one big monolithic motherfucker. and BigQuery for data warehousing. So a lot of different interesting technologies spanning over 40 different services. Multiple data stores, countless queues, data pipelines, fast machine learning pipelines, advanced machine learning pipelines that backfill data after everything else has already been calculated, and so on. And currently we're processing around 2 million conversations each and every day, but at least 7 times as many interactions that actually happen around those conversations. So whether it's someone requests a CSAT feedback for that conversation, and we need to do something with that. We need to categorize that feedback and so on. So yeah, a lot of things. And now, like last week, Preet reached out and told me that I should join this conference for some weird reason, and then probably do the closing keynote. They said, of course, why not? Sounds like a cool thing. DevOps, I've been there. I know the technologies. I've been doing something with that, so I should be able to do the closing keynote. Why not? But I didn't really actually know what I signed myself up to, because I realized that we don't really do DevOps at Klaus. Like, we're 65 people or so. Half of those are product and engineering people, but it's just product engineering for us. Like, we don't have DevOps people with us. It's just the engineers that do everything. I don't know, should we call them full stack engineers because it's platform plus doing engineering as well? Or no, yeah, I think so as well. But it's product engineering for us. And platform, the Google Cloud Platform, or whatever platform it is that we have built for ourselves, kind of takes care of itself. And you could call it GitOps. I saw from the pictures that there was a talk about GitOps here yesterday. So maybe it's GitOps, I don't know. But it's something that we do that kind of hides those complexities from us. And then we try to follow the best practices, of course. Excuse me. As even Erwin mentioned, like we tried not to download JSON key files because that's the same thing. But you don't have to be a DevOps engineer to not download a JSON file. You just have to be a sane person. So yeah, of course we do that. But our environment can be complex. Like, there can be a lot of different things, different languages that we use. Go, someone used Go, good. We even use Java. It's a really popular language, and so on. And we are able to tie this all together. So my thought was like, oh, maybe I'll have a chat about how you don't need to do DevOps at all, and you get by without doing any DevOpsy things. But no, I will actually tie it together with something much more boring. And I have a sip of coffee. And I remembered that I had read, like a few months ago, the Accelerate State of DevOps report 2022. It's the DORA organization, like behind all the DevOps things, DevOps, research, and assessment. They, together with Google and a bunch of sponsors, run this report. And it's actually a benchmark as well. And they talked to or reached out or surveyed around 33,000 organizations or people and gathered a lot of information, what's going on in DevOps space. And they have been doing this for years and years and years now. And they focus on examining how the capabilities behind DevOps actually can be made measurable. And they measure software delivery performance, they measure operational performance, and organizational performance. And the software delivery performance out of all these is what they then make benchmarkable. So they look at what are the lead times for changes, mean time to recovery, deployment frequencies, change in failure rates, and things like that. From operational performance, they look at reliability, but this is really hard for them to actually measure because people report it in a weird way, and so on. Excuse me. And for the operational for the organizational performance, it's actually all about organization meeting their own goals and their weird and their profitability measures as well. So in the end, this organizational performance is actually what your company's CEO, for example, cares about. In the end of the day, they don't necessarily care about how often do you do deployments, or what is your change failure rate, but they care about the money. And that ties well together with all the FinOps talks and everything like that as well. And now when they are doing these benchmarks, there have always, like we have seen improvements over year. We have seen like it gets clustered based on this software delivery performance capabilities. And we have seen teams evolving towards being elite teams. So doing everything really well. But this was the first year where this was not the case. Based on the benchmark results, they didn't find any elite teams anymore. The floor was raised, so there was less teams performing poorly, but the ceiling was also lowered. So there was no elites, and actually even the highs kind of evened out to the medium. So why might have this been? And this is why we are here. The pandemic potentially hampered the ability for these teams to share knowledge and learn. And practices were not being shared, and people couldn't learn anymore. And that led to slowing down innovation. So this is important, and this is why Priit, Harles, everyone behind this conference have done a big deal for Tallinn, for Estonia, wherever you're from here. Like, you should care. But what else did they find with the report and the benchmark? They actually found ways to improve how we operate, how we do the DevOps thing as well. So for example, security being a big deal, even in this year's report. They actually looked really deeply into supply chain security, but security in general as well. And what they found was that to improve organization security, you don't have to do anything technical. Yes, you could not download JSON files, but that comes after. You have to start with culture. And they found that the generative culture group, generative in their like lingo means that these are the organizations that share between each other like the best practices, they learn from mistakes and so on. Like, these organizations actually operate well in security sense as well. So maybe first look how you address these security issues. Are you blaming each other for your mistakes? And maybe you can just learn and take the security forward by improving your culture. How to drive organizational performance. Again, a lot of this comes down to the culture. Like, high trust and low blame cultures tend to have higher organizational performance. They tend to do better. And another indicator for organizational performance was cloud. So companies that started by building software initially already for cloud, being cloud native, tended to have a lot higher organizational performance. So CEOs might have been in a better place in those organizations, happier. Maybe they didn't spend as much money because good FinOps in the cloud, or maybe they just were more profitable. And if you take anything away from conferences like these, then these are the few things that you should really take away, because this is what matters to your CEO, matters to the top line, and so on. It's that the culture tops everything. Talk to your peers, talk to more software engineers, because DevOps can't live in this isolation. And good CI practices led to better security practices, because people tend to automate themselves out from weird security mistakes that happen if they do something by hand. And teams that have higher than average CI practices and higher than average security practices tend to be the highest performing organizations of all. So think about culture, think about how culture improves your security, figure out the CI thing, and you might be in a better place next year. And that's that.
Any questions for Joonathan?
As I said, this is
as Joonathan said,
yeah, there won't be any questions.
No questions. Everything is super clear.